Hello and welcome back to RedditRead, a channel where we read Reddit stories and talk about them a little bit. No AI voices here, I read all the stories myself. And today's theme is all about embarrassment and cringe, which there is a lot of on Reddit. And today I'm joined by the most embarrassing person I know, my best friend, Kerrigan. I was planning that all day because I want to get your reaction.
Right when you said I'm joined with the, and I was immediately like, no, he can't do that to me. He can't. I'm betrayed. That's the next week's betrayal.
Betrayal is the next one. Before we get started, guys, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Was that embarrassing for you? You get secondhand embarrassment from that?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, remember to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps us out a lot. We're trying to get to 5 million by the end of the month. I'm kidding. Anyways, on to our first story, which comes from Am I the Asshole? And the title reads, Am I the asshole for saying yikes when a friend asked me out? Yeah. I think I would die inside if that happened. Anyways,
I think we're about to.
Yeah, I think we are gonna die inside. Okay, here we go. I've been friends with this guy named John for around 2 to 3 years. We're fairly close, and John has always tried to let on hints that he might be interested in me. Despite that John knows that I'm in a long-time relationship with my boyfriend of around 4 years, who we'll call C. Now, C trusts me, and despite knowing that John might be interested, he's let me handle it by myself. I've tried to make it painfully as obvious to John, who knows I'm in a relationship. I might say things like, wow, you're a great friend to me. When asked if I'm interested in front of him, I would say, no, he's like a brother to me. Now, John and I were at a friend's place, still social distancing, of course. This was in like 2021 or something. And we were helping set up her TV. The others were in the living room while John dragged me aside, and to quote what he said, okay, it has the person's username, so this sounds really weird. Twinklefloof, I've really liked you for some time now. Do you mind maybe giving me a shot?
Oh my God.
I was really surprised, and the only thing I could think to say was, yikes, and dashed out of there. It was awkward the rest of the time, and he never said a word after that. When coming home and telling my boyfriend, he was pissed that John tried to initiate something, but is glad I shut it down so quickly. Now some of my friends are telling me that was incredibly rude, especially since I knew he liked me for a long time. We're in the same friend group, so it's not like I can just avoid John. I've attempted to unsuccessfully. I've tried to apologize, but he won't hear it. Am I the asshole? All names are fake, by the way.
I think I would say the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, I guess it's kind of rude, but sometimes it just slips out. You can't even.
Well, when you're caught in the moment after all of like the hints of, you're a brother to me, you're my best friend. Like, I feel like that's a pretty justified answer.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yikes.
Yeah.
Jankies.
And she also could have just been saying yikes because like she has a boyfriend. It could have been for that. It couldn't. Yeah. It might not be because like, oh, you're so ugly, I would never go out with you. But it could just be like, yikes, why are you asking me? Like, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't say if it's because he's ugly or if she has a boyfriend. It's probably both. But
I was going to say probably both.
I would think of this a little bit differently if she didn't have a boyfriend, but she does. So I think that reaction is perfectly justified.
Honestly, I'm siding with my girl. I even think if she was single, I would not think she was the asshole. Because, like, how many times can you make it painfully obvious that you don't like someone, yet they still ask you out?
That's true.
It's like, are you that dull? You don't understand what signs are. You don't.
Well, a lot of people don't understand.
Well, maybe they should.
So. How do I say this? I mean, it's easy to kind of, well, no, I couldn't see how this guy could think that that's,
See, you can't even comprehend what the guy was thinking.
Yeah, I can't. Only because she already has a boyfriend. If she didn't have a boyfriend, even if she's been dropping these hints all along, it's easy to get into this kind of delusional thing where you think that every little thing means something, even though it doesn't, even though they're giving you massive hints that tell you the opposite. You just ignore those because that's not what your delusional brain wants to see. So I can see that because I do that all the time as well. So I yeah. like I would never go after somebody that's already in a relationship. That's the thing that's really
Yeah,
getting me.
and that's what confuses me because why are the friends saying you're the asshole for saying yikes?
Yeah,
What?
the friends are
Like you're on his side? What was I supposed to say? Yeah, I'll go
yeah.
out with you.
She kind of just matched his energy because it was rude of him to ask that in the first place to somebody
Yeah.
who's already in a relationship, and
Yeah.
she said something
Yeah.
rude back to him. Just completely matched the energy, which I think is fine. Another thing that I had was, is it worse to reject someone bluntly or lead them on gently?
Reject someone bluntly.
That's
Leading
worse.
Oh.
No, it's which one's worse.
Oh,
Leading them on gently
100%.
or yeah.
Cuz like sorry, just a few things came into my mind right there. Real life experiences.
Yeah, me too.
No, leading them on gently is definitely worse cuz you're making them think they have a chance.
Yeah, and it you think you're just being nice. It never works the way you think it's gonna
No.
work.
No.
Ask me how I know.
No.
Um, it's always better to just be blunt up front and tell them no than to be like, oh well, maybe.
Maybe. Like no, if there's no maybe ever, just say no.
Yeah. Do we think OP should apologize? Because she said, apologize again, because she already said that she tried to apologize, but he doesn't even want to hear it.
Well, that's also on him though. If
Yeah, that's
she's
his
already
problem.
trying to apologize and you're not even gonna, I don't even think she needs to apologize.
No.
But she did, and you're still not gonna listen to her
Yeah.
or accept the apology.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're just being a little baby.
Yeah, she didn't even have to apologize. She did. She's kind of going above and beyond here.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy just doesn't want to hear it, which I guess is also fine if she just, or if he just never wants to talk to her again. Because I mean, I probably wouldn't either, but like,
Yeah, but if you're all in a friend group, it's like we better make amends and move on.
oh, that was the
you
next thing I had. Would this ruin the friend group dynamic? Which it definitely would. I think we know that.
I just think, things don't get better. If especially if he's already not listening to an apology and other friends are jumping at her saying she was the asshole, I just feel like you're kind of cooked.
I mean, yeah, the way that things have played out here, it's definitely going to ruin the friend group. But
Yeah.
there is a reality where this could have happened and they could have moved on from it
Yeah.
and been fine. But I mean, it doesn't say how old these people are, does it? No,
No.
it doesn't. But I mean, if these are like some like 17, 18-year-olds, yeah, the friend group's probably over because you're not mature enough to deal with that
Yeah.
type of
And
shit
if
yet.
you're like 30 or 40, you guys are too old to be doing that.
Yeah, if you're 30 or 40 and you're asking somebody who's already in a relationship if you want to go out with them, then yeah.
You need a reality check.
Yeah. What do you think the least embarrassing way to reject someone is?
Least embarrassing? God.
I honestly think the least embarrassing way is to just be blunt about it and say no. Because
I agree with that.
if you lead them on, then it's going to be even more embarrassing for them later.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they like realize, oh, this isn't going anywhere, or like they're just leading me on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be more embarrassing if you do that than if you just tell them no at the beginning.
Yeah.
And move on
immediately
from it.
shut it down.
Yeah.
Because also that's like a good way to help the person who has a crush on you kind of get over it.
Yeah.
Like they know it's not going to happen. So eventually, yeah, they might still crush on you for a bit, but eventually they're going to lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to find someone else or just know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So then you all can just move on in life.
But if you keep leading them on, their crush is never going to go away. And it's just
Yeah, no.
going to strengthen. And then
Mhm.
eventually it's just going to come crashing down
Yeah.
and erupt like a volcano,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lesson I should have learned a long time ago. Better late than never.
At least you know now.
Yeah. Is there a good way to confess feelings to somebody who's already in a relationship?
Hold it in. I say don't
So don't.
confess. Because that just is like, I mean, maybe say like, hey, I have a crush on you. I know you're with someone. But I feel like that's also just awkward.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's just like, at that point, it's better to just hold it in or tell like a mutual friend about it.
I think again, it comes back to how how mature these people are or
Yeah.
not,
Hmm.
because that is a thing that you can confess and move on from. I think if you're mature about it. I had a really good thought in my head. I was really cooking with that and I totally forgot it.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah. I could see a reality where you could confess this and it would go fine if you're both mature about it. But I think if you're going to confess this to somebody who's already in a relationship, you have to also have already accepted and be ready
Mm.
that you may lose them as a friend. And if you're
Yeah.
okay with that, then you should do it.
Yeah.
But if you're not okay with that, then you probably shouldn't do it
Hmm.
because you very well, and you know, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
like,
I think I know where you're coming from. Like, if you were just like, or even if you yourself was willing to step away from the friendship so you can kind of get over your feelings,
right. Yeah.
like confess, like, hey, I have a crush on you. I know you're in a relationship. I think it would be better if I just step away for a while to kind of get over this and
Yeah.
see how things go.
That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but most people probably wouldn't do that
No.
because they wouldn't want to like lose them in their life. Um, but I mean, also everybody's relationship is different. Like some people and like their partners, they'd be totally fine with them. Like I mean, some people's partners are totally fine with like them flirting with other people and whatever. It, like
What?
no, seriously, like some people's are like that.
I mean, I guess.
And if that's their dynamic, then that works for them, then that's their dynamic.
But like flirting with that doesn't make sense because if you're flirting with someone who has a crush on you, you're just leading them on then.
No, not with people that have like a crush on you, but some people are just like
Oh.
okay with their partner like being hit on in a bar and just kind of going along with it. Like some people are okay with that.
I mean, I guess.
And I don't know where I'm going with this.
I'm sitting
I'm cutting
here
all this out.
thinking, I'm like-
Cut all this out.
cut. It's just like that one video. You see that video of the guy? What was he? He was drinking a bottle, like a little shot of like vodka or something, and he was just choking on it, and the guy was recording him still, and he's just like, "Cut."
What? I've never seen that.
No, he's like choking, and he's like, "Cut, cut." God, because he's choking on.
Does he just get closer with the camera? that one of the funniest things to me is when like it's like a bigger YouTube channel, so they have other people edit the videos, and they're like telling them like cut this, and they're not cutting it. It's in the video, so they're not cutting it.
Please cut,
they're
please.
like, editor, cut this out, and it's still in the video. But I edit these videos, so I can cut myself as much as I want.
Suicidal much?
No, not that. So yeah, I don't know how much I cut out of that because we went on a lot of tangents, but not the asshole, not the asshole. Okay. Anyways, on to our next story, which comes from "Am I the Asshole?" The title reads, "Am I the asshole for dancing at a wedding even though I was a +1 to a friend?" Okay, well, off of that sentence alone. No, you're at a wedding. You can dance.
Exactly.
But let's see. My friend and coworker was invited to his close friend.
Oh.
His close friend's
His close friend wedding. iPad kid.
I literally actually just turned into an iPad kid. His close friend's wedding.
We're going to his close friend wedding.
You had games on your phone. I went to the wedding to see if they had games on their phone. My friend and coworker was invited to his close friend's wedding and received a +1. Since he had just broken up with his girlfriend, he didn't want to go alone and be seen alone in pictures on social media, so he asked if I would go with him. I love weddings and didn't have any plans for the weekend and always wanted to see this particular venue in person anyway, as I always pictured it for myself, so I said yes. I didn't know the bride and groom, but I'm aware of wedding etiquette such as don't wear white, don't upstage the bride, be polite, etc. The wedding comes and I show up with my coworker/date. I meet a lot of his buddies and we are all getting along fine. One thing about me is I love to dance and never turn down an opportunity. I was on several dance teams in school, so I am semi-trained, so it's not sloppy dancing or anything. During cocktail hour, the DJ is playing some great music, which I thought was more appropriate for the reception and didn't want to let the songs go to waste, so to speak. So I danced a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I loved the music. People were looking my way, but not in shock, but almost like delight. Like, she's going to be fun on the dance floor tonight. Finally, the reception starts and they are doing the bridal party announcements where the DJs play songs and the couples dance together onto the dance floor. I love hyping people up and getting the party started. So as each couple was announced, I'd suddenly hype them up and show them some fun moves to go along with the songs. Nothing crazy. I'd point at them and do something like shake my shoulders and encourage them to do the same.
Oh no.
Eventually, my date asked me to cool it, so I did by the fourth couple and didn't do it again, as it seems they had routines they practice anyway. I didn't think it was a big deal to help out, but I stopped when asked. I spent most of the night on the dance floor afterwards, dancing with everyone and generally hyping up the crowd. I could tell a lot of guests may have not felt confident, so I would make sure to go to the tables. Oh, Jesus Christ. I go to the tables. Okay. I could tell a lot of the guests may have not felt confident, so I would make sure to go to the tables, sitting down and trying to get them on the dance floor because I know it's important at weddings for guests to have fun. At one point, though, the mother of the bride or groom, couldn't tell, looked at me and rudely quipped, "Can you please stop? We don't know you." When I was dancing next to her table trying to get the grandparents up, I fully retreated and spent the rest of the night at my table and didn't even speak to my date because he basically started to ignore me after the announcements and during dinner service when I asked if he wanted to dance. He said no, he was eating and rudely. So am I the asshole for dancing at a wedding? I get that I wasn't a friend or family, but I was a guest and even brought a card to a couple I just met that day. My coworker hasn't texted me and I see him tomorrow. I also wanted to reach out to the bride via Facebook to see if photos were posted yet and thank her for the lovely time. That's so embarrassing. I don't know how much of that I cut out, and I know I said that like 5 times now, but just to get through that took me forever because it was so embarrassing.
You know, at first I was leaning towards no, she's not. But then when she said she was too extra. When they're having their couple dances, you're starting to dance and shimmy. Like, girl, it's their moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're doing anything at a wedding to stand out, you're the asshole. Because
100%.
the wedding is not about you. It's about the people getting married.
And she literally said, I know wedding etiquette. No, you don't.
Clearly
if you're
she
going
doesn't.
out and you're trying to like make yourself the life of the party. How many times did she say people were looking at me like, you know, they were thankful that I helped them?
Yeah, she's trying to make it seem like she's such a saint for hyping everyone up and making sure everyone has a good time. But no, she's just obsessed with herself and she wants everyone to look at her.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, maybe your family's like that. Or maybe, you know, like your friends are like that where they would like something like that. But you don't know this group of people.
Yeah, this isn't.
You don't know their energy or like what they consider fun. And like going up to tables and trying to like coax people who are clearly uncomfortable dancing to come out with you. Yeah, no. I would die. I would kill myself in the back if that happened. I'd be like, no.
So embarrassing. There's so much secondhand embarrassment from just reading this.
Yeah, because she doesn't at all realize that she could have been making people uncomfortable. It's just like me when I see someone who's really getting into dancing and it's like, I mean, that's fine. You do you, but then you make eye contact with them and they start trying to like freaking rope you in. No, bucko. No, bucko.
I mean, if it's like, if the setting is right, then you can do something like that. But at a wedding, you don't even know the bride and groom or any of the family. No.
Yeah.
Okay. She would probably be fun in a club where everyone's drunk, but this is not what you do at a wedding.
Yeah. Or like I said, a family, people who you don't know these people act normal. And if your normal is just dancing around, get a life. Get a life.
I mean, she doesn't say how old she is, so she could be like,
30s.
you know, like, yeah, this does give 30s.
This gives 30s. Okay, can I also bring something up that's not about her? Bringing a coworker to a wedding. I don't understand why people do that. You know how many times I've heard Reddit stories where it's like, I invited my coworker to my grandma's wedding or something stupid like that because I didn't want to be alone. How many times have I heard that story before? 1,000 times. Who the fuck is actually bringing their coworker to a wedding?
This guy.
But like 1,000 other people have done this.
I mean, I kind of understand that because I would not want to go to a wedding alone because the choice for them, and it would probably be the same choice for me, is either go with a coworker or not go at all.
But the thing is if you're going, this guy was going to a wedding where his friends were. He was going to be with his friends.
Oh, that's true. She said he just met his buddies. So.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be alone and take pictures alone at a wedding. He wanted to have a date. Get over yourself.
Oh, yeah. It's more about the pictures.
Yeah, it was more about appearance-wise. He didn't want to be single at a wedding. He wanted to have someone with him.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But, like, that's not the only time I've heard something like that posted on Reddit where someone's like, I got invited by my coworker to this wedding. Like, who genuinely invites coworkers to weddings?
People on Reddit. People
like
that
as
post
a date.
on Reddit.
Like as a date. I don't know. I've always thought it was weird.
I'm sure he's probably never going to do that again after this.
No, he's not.
She's obviously doing too much. But how do you know when you're helping the vibe versus hijacking the event? Because clearly she doesn't realize that she's being annoying. And even when as she's writing this, she still doesn't realize it. So how do you know? Because there could be a world where if that was like the family's vibe, this would have worked. But it didn't work, and she didn't realize that. So how can you like tell if that's...
I think the first telltale sign was when she first said they were looking at me like I was going to be the life of the party on the dance floor. I don't think they were looking at you because they thought you were cool. I think they were looking at you because you're crazy.
Yeah.
I think that should have been the first telltale sign that something was wrong. But also, maybe she really thought she's going to be fun. But I think after your date tells you, hey, stop shimmy. Whoa. Shit. I'm turning it in. Cut. I think your first sign, other than being looked at weird, is your date telling you to stop, like, dancing when the couples are out on the floor. Like, I feel like that should have been, okay, maybe this isn't the vibe. Like, they don't need me to be trying to hype them up like this.
Yeah. And also, well, I mean, the most clearest one was when the mother or whatever was like, can you stop? But she had two opportunities before that. Everyone was staring at her. Her coworker told her to tone it down.
Mm-hmm.
And she did for like 5 minutes, but then proceeded to do more insane stuff.
Yeah.
And she still doesn't realize it because she wrote this. See, this is the thing that shocks me sometimes is how people can write this whole thing out and still be like, yeah. and like because if I did this, which I would never do this in the first place, but if I did this and I wrote this out and read it, I think Reddit. I think I would realize this is a dumb post. Of course I'm the asshole. I'm like, delete this whole thing because clearly I'm fucking crazy.
But I think people like, and I know this on Reddit, I think people like try to make themselves look better. You know?
They do.
So like she definitely was typing this out like, I'm going to make it seem like I'm so cool.
Yeah, and she does. That's why she says, these people looked at me like they knew I was going to be the life of the party.
No, girl. They were looking at you like, oh, we have an interesting character on our midst, guys. Come on.
And that's why it's funny. Every time somebody tries to do that in a story, it always makes them look worse.
Yeah, it does.
And they don't realize it.
It makes them look more delusional in the sense of they think they're not the asshole when everyone else is going to read it. I feel like a lot of people probably are like soft asshole, though. I don't think people are coming at her, like, ripping her throat out like we are.
Probably not. Well, let's see what the comments say. This comment says, for dancing, no. For drawing attention to yourself by hyping people up during their introduction or wandering around harassing people at tables because you think people can't have fun unless they're doing what you think is fun, yes, very, you're the asshole. Okay, so maybe they are a little...
Yeah, but... yeah, maybe. It's because they're so sick and tired of seeing people paint themselves as this cool, hip thing. This gives millennial, is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
It's definitely was no Gen Zer.
Oh, no. Let's see. Another comment here. You're the asshole. You were making yourself the center of attention at a stranger's wedding. This isn't just an issue of dancing like a normal guest. It's about you interfering with the introduction of the bridal party, interrupting the mother of the bride or groom, and making a scene during cocktail hour. Honest question, were you drinking much? This sounds like drunk girl behavior.
Yeah, it does.
She doesn't say. Maybe she was drinking a little bit too much.
What'd we say last time? Don't have alcohol at your wedding.
No,
don't get married.
Don't have a wedding in the first place. Just don't have one.
And like maybe if the bride was like doing like similar stuff, like trying to pull people at tables, but it's also like even if the bride was doing that, that's the bride's thing then. Like don't just leave it. Like if the bride wanted people out more, she can go grab people. You don't have the right to go grab people unless she tells you. You're seeking attention, you're going up to random people, grabbing them at tables, assaulting the elderly. Maybe they can't shimmy their hips, okay? Because their hip is plastic. They don't have a hip anymore.
What?
And like old people, they lose their bones.
They lose them.
Yeah.
They just wake up one day and they're like, oh,
Like
I misplaced my tibula.
Like their hip cracks or something. They need a new hip. So they can't get up and dance, okay? They're not semi-professionals like you, women.
And she did say she was trying to get the grandparents up off the table. So imagine they're just in like a wheelchair.
I was going to say they have a walker. Yeah, let's get them out there, start shaking ass. Get away.
No updates. Doesn't look like she replied to any comments because they're all coming after her hard. So, asshole. Anyways, on to our next story, which comes from Best of Redditor Updates. Was originally posted in Relationship Advice. Comes from 2019. And the title reads, "My boyfriend grabbed a stranger's ice cream. Can't believe this actually happened."
Oh, my God.
What does that mean? Grabbed a stranger's ice cream?
I pictured him like a little kid was walking with their ice cream cone and he just grabbed that thing right out their hand.
He's just like, psych! Mine!
Yeah, didn't even grab the cone, grabbed the ice cream.
Not even the cone, just the ice cream.
Left the cone in the kid's hand and just took the ice cream and left.
Okay, well, let's see if that's what happens.
I hope that's what happened.
All right, so we were out walking around this evening. He'd mentioned he'd wanted to get ice cream, but hadn't brought money, and neither had I. We usually take a walk after dinner and don't buy stuff during it unless we decide beforehand we want to get something that night. So as we're walking past a group of people, he made a sudden movement to the side and then started running in the opposite direction full speed.
Oh, my God.
It was so fast, I hadn't seen exactly what he did. People were saying things like, holy shit, and oh my God. One guy said, he took my ice cream. And that's when I realized what happened. He fucking stole this guy's ice cream on a busy street. I was absolutely...
I can't take this serious. I don't know what's this. Oh my God, he took my ice cream. What do you even do?
So, okay, well, let's see. Okay. I was absolutely shocked and mortified. Everyone around us had seen it or else quickly got told about it. They were staring and pointing down the street where he was still running. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I apologized repeatedly to the man whose ice cream he'd grabbed, then said I was going to go find him and got myself out of there, utterly humiliating. Well, he nearly made it back to the house in that time. I got there a few minutes later, and he had been crouched in the stairway, furiously eating the ice cream out of the cup. He scrambled when he heard me coming, dripping ice cream everywhere, looking like a deer in headlights. I can just imagine him. He's sitting there in the stairway. He's like, then he hears her coming. He's like,
I just picture him hunched like a rat. Just like a rat just eating this ice cream. Shoveling it in, like not even like pretty bites. No spoon, just grabbing that cup, man.
He's just like...
Yeah. He hears something coming, he's like... just starts hissing.
Okay. Looked like a deer in headlights. He literally left the cup on the stairs and ran away from me up to our apartment. But I had the keys, so he was just standing there when I got there.
Oh my God! What possessed him? He was possessed. He he was possessed. That is the only explanation for this.
I'm just imagining, okay, he's on the stairs and he runs up to the top of the stairs to their apartment door and it's locked, so he can't get in. So he just runs up to the top of the stairs like, and then he can't get in, so he probably just turns around and looks at her and is like,
no, I picture him standing like right next to the door, like facing the wall, not looking at her, staring straight ahead, just like waiting for her to open the door.
Okay, so what's gonna happen when she gets up there? Let's find
This
out.
has to be fake. Yes.
I, of course, demanded an explanation. He had the balls to deny he'd done anything. He insisted he didn't know what I was talking about. Maybe he was possessed.
I think he was. He was. This is the first case of possession of ice cream.
He had the ice cream devil in him.
He did. He put it into like the stars. He said, "I want ice cream," and he saw it, and it was just like instinct, like something just possessed his mind, his body. He had no control over
no
this.
control.
He's like, "Oh, are we gonna go for our walk? Why are we just standing here? Let's go!" Like, bitch, we already went. You stole ice cream.
Yeah. Okay, he insisted he didn't know what I was talking about. I sort of lost it and started yelling at him. The cup is down on the stairs. Your hands and mouth are covered in it. This makes it even more funny. He's covered in ice cream, and he's like, what are you talking about?
I think for the fans, we need to recreate what we picture this dude looking like.
I bet you somebody's made a sketch of this.
We
There's no way somebody hasn't made a sketch of this.
We have to bank on this.
Okay, so he's covered in him. A dozen people literally saw you snatch it right out of a guy's hand. What the fuck do you mean you don't know? He then changed his story and said it was just a joke. What the fuck? He decided to reenact a YouTube prank video on a random stranger? How is that a prank? After I let us inside, I kept asking what makes him think that's okay to do, and he changed the story again. This time he said he doesn't know why he did it. It was just an urge. I had the urge for ice cream, man. I needed the ice cream.
I couldn't control myself.
I didn't even know what to do, so I told him I needed some time to myself. I'm seriously disturbed. He's got no good reason. This is completely out of character for him. He's always very mild, reserved, and treats people, especially me, very kindly. He's the last person I thought would do something like this. What do I do next to figure out what the fuck this was about? How can I know he's even being honest?
I know this is bad, but honestly, I'm just thinking if you and me were doing this, like we're walking and you grab some random stranger, I would start running with you. I wouldn't stay behind. I wouldn't even, if I didn't notice you grabbed the ice cream and I just saw you running, I think just
she didn't see him take the ice cream.
I would be like, what are we running from? And I just start running too. I don't question it. And then when I found out you stole ice cream, I would have laughed so hard.
I'd be like, just had the urge, man.
If I saw you, if I'm running behind you and I just see you crouch in a staircase alleyway thing and just start shoveling ice cream in your mouth, I think I would die of laughter. Like, I don't know if I'd be mad at you. I think I'd be like, Julie, why the fuck would you do that? But I also think it'd be the funniest thing in the world.
It unfortunately is really funny.
Like, she's mad at him. I would be a little mad too, but I would also just think it would be the funniest shit to experience.
Well, for her, it's more embarrassing because she didn't run with him, so she had to stay there and be like,
yeah,
sorry.
he had to clean up. She had to clean up the mess he made.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, I don't know that guy. That guy was just walking by me. Maybe he thought I had ice cream.
And I didn't say this at the beginning, but the original poster's 28, so the girl and the guy is 29. So he's 29 doing this.
That's even funnier.
Unfortunately, it is.
That's even funnier. This dude, I can just I never picture you doing something like that. So genuinely, if you did something like that, I would be in hysterics.
And it wasn't a kid either. It was
bandits.
just a guy. So it wasn't a kid like we thought. It was just some random guy.
Which makes it also funnier.
Yeah, because if it was a kid, I would feel bad because they would probably start crying
Exactly. But how funny would it be for that group of friends to look back and remember the time that their ice cream got stolen?
Yeah,
on the
honestly,
street.
if I was the person who got the ice cream stolen, I would probably think it's funny too.
I would too. I would be like, that guy just took my ice cream. But
Holy shit! That guy just took my ice cream.
I would start running after him, depending on how much I paid for that ice cream and how much I was excited or enjoying that ice cream. I'm chasing him down.
I'm imagining this is like an ice cream truck. The guy just gets the ice cream. He immediately turns around and this guy's like grabs it and starts running.
The girlfriend didn't find it suspicious that the boyfriend starts walking a little closer to this ice cream truck and group.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Like,
well, I don't think her first thought would be, oh, he's going to steal his ice cream.
I don't think so either, but like, the signs were there. The signs were there. The first sign was him saying, I really want some ice cream. And then brought no money.
Well, they said that was that before or after they
I thought
already
that was
left?
before. She said that they went on a walk and he said
it was
he wanted ice cream.
It was before. And then he proceeded to not bring any money. So yeah.
So he had this planned. No, he didn't have it planned, but the demon in him that possessed him to do this.
Well, he's changed his story 3 times. First, he said he didn't do anything. Then he said it was just a joke. And then he said it was just an urge.
Yeah.
He's got the masculine urge to steal somebody's ice cream.
It's probably the most evil thing this guy has ever done. But it made us laugh today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I know this isn't in the Am I the Asshole, but this guy's not the asshole.
not the asshole
Not
because
the
it's funny.
asshole.
If it's funny, not the asshole.
Like, okay. Realistically, though, this sounds rude, but I think OP is just kind of boring. Like, you're that upset. I mean, obviously, I'd be upset too. I'd be like, you just stole that guy's ice cream and you made me clean it up, like clean up the mess of like apologizing. Like, I can never walk out there again and we can't run into that group ever again now.
Yeah, that's what if he went back and was like, hey guys, it was just a joke. That's still bad.
Yeah.
Because I also don't like it when people do something mean and they're like, bro, it's just a joke.
Yeah, I agree.
But like,
I agree.
But
Yeah.
he did leave it all to her to like just be there after that, which is not cool.
No, it's not.
That would have made me upset too. But the actual joke itself was unfortunately kind of funny.
Yeah. Or even if it was just an urge. Like, I think I would go back and I'd be mad. I'd be like, I can't believe you did that to me. I wouldn't be mad about him stealing. I can't believe you left me there. You didn't give me a heads up. Like, say, run, nothing. You just left me there.
Yeah.
Like, but also shame on her for not running. If I'm walking with my boyfriend or with you or another friend or family and they just take off running, no question, I'm running too. What's happening? Why are we running?
Yeah.
You question later, okay? You don't stop and
Run
go,
now, question later.
damn, why are they running away? I'd be like, oh, let me catch up to them. Why are we running? So shame on her.
So there's kind of 2 updates to this one. So the first one is kind of like an add-on to the first part that we just read that they put in the comments, and then the second part is an actual update. So I'll read what they put in this top comment first. So they say, adding this to the top comment so anyone still following will see. Last night I asked him again what he was thinking. He said, Jesus, I don't know. I already told you. I said I couldn't accept that answer because it's not a real answer. I told him we needed to talk about it because after reading some of the comments last night, I needed to know if something was going on with him mentally. He said it wasn't. I started naming possible things he could be stressed out, like job, family, money, and he said it was all fine. To my knowledge, that's true. If something's going on, then he's hiding it well. He was visibly annoyed by my questioning, and when I eventually asked if he realized how bizarre it was, he snapped, "Who fucking cares? Please stop bothering me. I'm busy." He was just browsing Facebook. He refused to talk about it anymore after that, but has been talking about other stuff as normal. It's like he's just pretending it never happened. If it hadn't, there'd be nothing about his behavior right now that would be weird to me. So now I feel like I'll be crazy if I bring it up anymore. I don't know if I just need to forget about it like he is or what. I'm still stunned and very confused. Maybe he's cheating.
With this update, maybe he's just embarrassed that he did that, and that maybe he's embarrassed that his girlfriend's not having the giggle we had. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any way you could do that and not be embarrassed about
Yeah.
it.
But also, like, just knowing that your significant other isn't laughing at it and having like kind of like poking fun at it,
Oh,
is thinking
yeah.
it's serious. I can see him being more embarrassed, but that's no reason to snap and not
No.
want to talk about it.
I mean,
I don't know how
he's hiding something because he doesn't have an actual explanation.
but it could just be I gotta look at it optimistically. He could just be embarrassed and it didn't get the reaction he wanted. Maybe he wanted her to find him crouched shoving ice cream in his face and laugh at him and think it was the funniest thing in the world, and then when she didn't do that, he was just so embarrassed and just shut down.
Yeah, it could be that. I
But,
can't
like-
imagine somebody going to this extreme for to try and make someone laugh.
I know, but the possibilities.
It's a possibility, but let's read some of the comments from that one. If he had a lapse in judgment and thought it was a funny prank, then I feel he would be laughing when you found him and being all like, dude, did you see the look on their faces? Want some ice cream? Instead, the way you wrote it, it sounds like he was furiously eating the ice cream he stole and then ran away from you when he saw you coming. So he wasn't doing it as a joke. The way you wrote it sounds like he was manic, like an animal completely going on instinct. He wanted ice cream that badly that he grabbed someone's ice cream out of their hand, hightailed it home, and started shoveling it down his throat greedily, and then ran away once he saw you coming. That sounds so insane. I don't even know what to say. I think he is probably embarrassed and doesn't want to talk about it. If it was a psychotic episode or something tied to mental illness, I wouldn't expect him to know/realize this. So asking him, did you have a psychotic episode? Do you have a history of mental illness? Isn't going to be very fruitful. And it will just make him more defensive. You have to get him to see a professional, but don't be accusatory or make him feel like he's crazy. You know, actually, this makes me think of another Reddit story that I've seen where somebody thought that they were like things were moving around the house and they were misplacing stuff, and they were absolutely sure that like this. No, it was that they thought that there was a bathroom in their room. They're like, I've always had a bathroom attached to my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on a trip and they came back and they're like, wait, now it's a closet.
What?
Turned out they actually had a brain tumor.
Oh,
So this is kind of reminding me of that. He's just doing something so insane and then being like, no, that didn't happen. Or no, it was just a joke. What are you talking about?
yeah, maybe
Maybe he has a brain tumor.
Maybe we shouldn't be laughing. Maybe the next update is like he did have there was some actual reason wrong.
It could be because
It's still such a funny thing to think about, though.
It is. I hope it's something funny because
I hope it's something funny too. I hope that these guys are still together and they figured out whatever it was that caused this, and they can look back and laugh at the absurdity of what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well, OP responded to that comment. So let's see. Yes, the way you described it is exactly how it happened. He wasn't laughing at any point. When he was trying to convince me it was a joke, he sounded more defensive and panicky than amused with himself. If I can't tell him about the possibility of a psychotic episode, then how can I get him to see someone? He won't see any reason to go. Well, let's see if he's having a psychotic episode, because 4 days later, we have another update. And it reads, so I finally got the explanation from him yesterday. Turns out he was in a Discord server chat where the members all dare each other to humiliate themselves by doing outlandish things in public they'd never normally do. He told me he's left that group because the experience was really stressful to him, not exciting like he thought when he joined. It was the first time he'd taken one of the dares. He said that afterwards, he just didn't know what to say and couldn't believe he'd actually done it. He was extremely apologetic for acting like a lunatic, causing me to worry about him. We had a long talk about it last night. I genuinely believe he regrets it. He knows what a stupid fuck up it was. Not much else to say, really. Just wanted to come back now that I got the answers. Thank you to everyone who tried to make sense of it in the original post and who gave me advice for talking with him.
Okay. First of all, we need to cut this out.
You know what's great about this is that if I look bad, I can edit it out because I'm editing it. But if
Yeah,
you look bad, I can
you're
keep
gonna have
it
me.
in.
You're gonna have me going. "Eh." How does the Discord server know he did this?
That's true. There's no way to know unless he was like secretly recording it or something,
And I want the video.
which he could have been.
I want that video for real. give it to me now.
Yeah, I want to hear somebody, because he probably has it in like his pocket or something, so you probably can't. You probably just hear it, and it's probably like, holy shit, he stole my ice cream.
You just hear a scuffle and just running. He took my ice cream, just in the distance.
You just hear a skull. Then, oh my God, he stole my ice cream. And it gets more distant as he's running.
You hear people go, he's stealing ice cream. He took my ice cream. And then you just hear him in the alley just
No,
it in.
then he gets to the apartment. He goes on the stairs. Then he gets out his phone and you can see him now. And he just starts going like.
The girlfriend comes up. He's like.
Okay, so there's actually a thing in the comments about him recording, so we're going to read this. Somebody asked, did you actually see the Discord and the chats? Because that doesn't make sense. Usually with challenges and dares, there's a camera involved, or else how would the other members know that he did the dare? Your description of events didn't mention either of you having your phones out to record. If there are no videos being posted and it's all based on the honor system that members did the dare, then either your boyfriend is very naive or something else is wrong. And then OP said, he was on his phone during the walk. I didn't mention it in the original post because there was no reason to. Now I know that he was recording in a non-obvious way. He never posted the video anywhere and it's been deleted. Damn.
God.
He also left the Discord the same night it happened.
Bro did one dare, was so ashamed of himself. So ashamed that he had to leave.
It is really funny, even though like I know I shouldn't think this is funny, but I do.
Yeah, it's our young minds, you know?
Yeah, come on, guys. We're only 21. Give us a break.
Yeah, we're young.
Anyways, on to our next story, which I don't think will be as crazy as that one. Next one comes from Am I the Asshole? Title reads, Am I the asshole for making my friend look bad on a double date by not splitting the bill? My 18-year-old male's friend and roommate, 19-year-old male David, has been trying to catch this girl, 19-year-old woman Mia, for weeks, but she plays hard to get and always has excuses for not going out with him. This last weekend, she said she couldn't go because her friend from another college, 19-year-old woman Brooke, was visiting. So then David offered that he could bring a friend, that would be me, for her, and Mia finally said yes. Mia knows me from some classes we have together, and I think she is a really nice person. I was really nervous about going because I've never been on a real date with a woman, and I knew Brooke was going to be totally out of my league, but I had the hope that going with David would make me look better by association. David is, quoting what my mom said after meeting him once, a handsome stud and a big ladies' man. He has been with so many women since we started college last year that I've lost count. Mia is in the women's basketball team, and David is really set to get her because he wants to experiment with sexual positions and see how they work with a woman closer to in height to him. Brooke was very uninterested in me during the whole night. I tried to talk to her following the tips David gave me, but she barely responded and was mostly just looking at her phone. I just knew she was disappointed because of how attractive I am compared to David and how clearly she was getting the short end of the stick in this date compared to Mia. When the bill came, I paid for Brooke's part and mine. David only paid for his, and Mia made a weird face when she realized but didn't say anything about it. After leaving them at their dorm, David was mad at me because he says me paying the bill made him look bad. He says I was showing off because I have more money than him, but I swore to him that wasn't my intention. He explained he has too many dates regularly to pay for all, so he needs to split. As I said, I don't have any dating experience and believe the man paying was the usual thing to do. I usually feel bad for hurting his chances with Mia, knowing how important it was for him, and I have apologized profusely multiple times, but he is still irritated because of all this. Am I the asshole? Okay, this entire post pisses me off. I hate almost every part of this. I'm already mad in like the first sentence because he's like, yeah, David's been trying to get with this girl, but she's playing hard to get and always has excuses for not going out with him. Yeah, probably because she doesn't want to fucking go out with you, dude.
That and she probably knows your track record of just fucking chicks.
Yeah, she probably knows you're a fucking player, and like,
What, the only reason he wants to get with her is because she's tall and he wants to try sex positions with someone his height?
I know. And I hate how David is like, yeah, well, I want to experiment with sexual positions, and she's taller than me, so I'm entitled to her, right? No. She doesn't want to go out with you, dude. She's already like, I hate this so much.
It's, oh my God, what's...
I hate the phrase, Like when straight guys would be like, oh man, yeah, she's just playing hard to get, man. It's like, no, she doesn't want to go out with you. And you're just using that as an excuse to like try and keep harassing her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, take fucking no for an answer.
Oh, they can't.
They can't. And that's like,
yeah, this whole thing upsets me because it's like, yeah, leave her alone. Ever thought about that? You don't have to fuck everything that moves. Keep it in your pants, bro. You know, I just don't. That's the part I don't understand. But also, I'm more concerned that OP thinks that this is just normal behavior of men.
I think OP is being influenced by David because the way that he talks about David is like
how men talk about Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah, because it's like he's saying like that he got tips from David and like he's kind of letting David walk all over him because he's like, well, I don't have any dating experience, so I don't know. And he's also clearly insecure about himself because he's like, oh yeah, Brooke's totally out of my league. But so I kind of feel bad for this guy because they're roommates, I guess, friend and roommate. So I don't know if they were friends before this or they were roommates first and now they're friends. So that's how they happen to meet. But I kind of feel bad for OP because this guy is a influence on him.
100%. 100%.
And it's like Brooke was uninterested in me the whole time. My tips from David didn't work. Yeah, probably because he's a fucking douche nozzle. And so if you're using his tips, of course it's not fucking working.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I agree.
And now David's getting mad at him because he made him look bad because he paid. And I don't even think he needed to pay for both of them if she was like uninterested and on her phone the whole time. Mm-hmm. But he still did anyway, like a gentleman. And this other guy is just like, dude, I go on so many dates. You think I can afford this, bro? Why are you making me look bad?
Because you're a douchebag.
Like he's letting the guy walk all over him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. Everything
about this post and the way that like David obviously views women is just, it's disgusting.
I agree. It was a hard read to listen to him. Just like the way David is just dating women just to have sex with them. Like no wonder she's playing hard to get because she knows she's not going to get a relationship. She's going to get some disappointing sex.
Right, yeah.
And
I also think David is using the original poster just to get a date with this girl because like the guy clearly looks up to him. He's like, because he thought that going on this date, OP thought that going on this date with Brooke, with David would make him look better by association because, everybody loves David.
Yeah.
And so, but David's clearly just like, oh, well, I just want to go on this date with me. So I'm just I know you'll go along with this because you think I'm the greatest guy ever. Like this guy kind of is like a kind of like Andrew Tate figure to this original poster, which is sad.
I don't like that OP's putting himself down too. Like maybe Brooke's not interested because she thinks you guys are both scumbags. Because you're not looking cooler by being associated with someone like David.
Yeah, you're looking like more of a douchebag.
Yeah, you look more like you agree with the way he views women and acts.
Yeah, maybe if you went on a date with her alone, it would have been great. But because David is bringing you down, my guy.
Yeah. And it sounds like David made the comment, too, that OP has more money. So David's probably for sure just friends with OP because of his money.
Yeah, I hate seeing somebody like so generous like this OP getting taken advantage by some fucking idiot like this.
Why? Okay, my other thing though, just quick, calling OP a handsome stud. Why do all the ugly guys somehow get into this mindset that they're like this hot thing that can just fuck anyone they want because they're hot? Like I don't understand how men just come into that like thought process.
Wait, men that are actually hot or men that
are like ugly but think they're hot?
Well, I can see how it can be kind of hard to differentiate sometimes between like self-confidence and like ego and narcissism. Because I'm like that sometimes. And, because I'm not cutting this out. I'm leaving this in. I'll say it. Sometimes I'm a little self-absorbed.
No, not at all.
But I'm aware of it, and I'm trying to work on it because it is hard sometimes to differentiate. Like, do I just love myself or am I full of myself?
Okay. Yeah.
So I can see how you can fall into that, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm just so fucking hot. Everyone wants to fuck me. But
okay. Yeah, exactly.
But then other times I'm like. nobody wants to fuck me. No, but like seriously, sometimes my ego is so large and sometimes it's so small. So I can see how somebody can fall into that. And especially if you are like a conventionally attractive person and a lot of people do have sex with you, that just kind of reinforces that even more with you. Or like if you go out like on a date with somebody that's really hot, you're like, oh, they went on a date with me, so I can get anybody. So especially like he has been with a lot of like different people, so that's just kind of reinforcing it in his head. So I can see how it happens, but I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway because these are 18 and 19-year-olds.
Okay, yeah.
They're college students. They're figuring themselves out. Yeah.
We're like college age, though.
We are. We are also college age.
Sadly.
But we're not 18. And, you know, the amount of, like, the difference between somebody when they're 18 and 21 is a huge difference. To me, I think.
I agree with that. 18-year-old me would not recognize 21-year-old me.
Oh, no.
They would be baffled.
Yeah,
baffled.
And the thing about when you are a teenager is you think you know everything. And you're like, yeah, this is it. I'm fully grown. I'm never going to learn anything new.
And then life
but you do.
Yeah. And then reality crashes down.
Yeah, so hopefully as OP gets older, they're going to realize that this guy's a douche nozzle. And
or
drop
I
them.
hope people told him.
Yeah, let's look at the comments. Not the asshole. David is, do not try and follow what he does. He disrespects women and is only after sex, and that is not a good goal. He only wants Mia for sex positions with someone closer to his height. That's disgusting. Be positive. Take time to explore the things you like. You will blossom and become more self-assured, and that is far more attractive. David is not a good dating role model.
100% agreed.
Yeah.
100% agreed. Like David seems like he is an Andrew Tate follower.
Oh,
like
for sure.
110% is like watching his videos and whatever the fuck else that bitch does. I don't even know.
Yeah, you hear that, Andrew Tate? We're calling you out.
Yeah, you're a fucking loser. I just can't. How do men like that get a following? It's insecure
because people
white
like,
males.
Because people like. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Bleep.
But you're right though. It is like it's listen. These guys are just trying to get your money. That's all they want. They're trying to make a business out of other people's insecurities, and that's
and woman suffrage.
Yeah, and that is so scummy. So many men fall into this. I would never fall into this probably because I'm gay, but if I was straight, I might fall into this because it's not. Listen, like there are some people that I would never be like, yeah, they could fall into this, and they do somehow.
You know, I think a lot of the people who fall for it is like young white males, and I think it's because they don't have support. Like gay people have the LGBTQ community to fall back on. Women, we have other women to fall back on. Males fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't like, they are jealous, you know, they're always trying to be top dog, where I think for them it's easier to fall into, oh, Andrew Tate, because it's a male supporting other males. You know, like they're a community for each other, where it's like it's like a cult, you know?
Yeah.
You have nowhere else to go.
That's exactly what it is. They try to make you think it's like, oh, it's just a community. We're just men helping men. But they're just trying to get money out of you. They want you to buy their freaking $100 course that's just a bunch of bullshit of being like, be an alpha male. Don't let your women talk to men.
Yeah, pee on them.
What?
You know, like how dogs pee on their stuff. You know?
I haven't heard that one before.
No, you know, like dogs pee to mark their property.
I've never heard Andrew Tate say that one, to be fair. But
that's next.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think we don't think that the OP is the asshole, but David's the asshole.
OP could be the asshole if he keeps going down this path, this dark path.
But hopefully he doesn't. This was 3 years ago, so he would be 21 now. So he's the same age as us now.
Life would have hit him.
So this guy's account still exists. Maybe I should private message him and be like, hey, dude, did you grow up?
Did you grow up? Hey, are you still friends with that one dude? Question mark.
Anyways, on to our final story, which comes from Best of Reddit Updates, originally posted on relationship advice. And the title reads, I did something absolutely humiliating in front of a guy I am dating and his parents. I'm taking advice to keep going with him / move past it. Passing that advice to anyone who may need it here. Okay, so there's a trigger warning for this one. It is explosive diarrhea.
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god.
So,
why is that a trigger warning?
be ready.
Disgust.
Okay, with that, here we go. So I haven't really left my apartment for a week because of something humiliating that happened recently with a guy I really like who I'm dating. I came to Reddit desperate for unbiased input and got some very conclusive advice. Life is too short to beat yourself up over dating hiccups where you embarrass yourself with something you couldn't control. Don't hole up and drop someone great just because you're embarrassed about a situation in dating is the advice. If you feel like you've done something humiliating in your dating and have no hope, please read my story because I can almost guarantee you whatever you did is not as humiliating as this. So, I've been dating a new guy for 5 months. I like him, and he invited me to his parents' house for the long Memorial Day weekend. Sounded fun, kind of taking the relationship to the next step. I was excited. So the parents ordered takeout Friday night for everyone, and it's extremely spicy Indian food, and I'm like, okay. Not my first choice, but I'm going to try everything to be gracious. Wake up early Saturday at his parents' house, and I'm like, yeah, that's odd. I feel a bit off, but maybe I just need breakfast. Meanwhile, the guy I'm dating and his father have planned a pre-breakfast run, and the dad is like really, really laying on the pressure for me to join in the kitchen. Reluctantly, I put on running shorts and whatnot and head out the driveway with the two of them. We start running. After about 15 minutes, I had fallen a bit behind and was realizing something was very not okay in my body. Everyone knows the not okay feeling and the accompanying dread I'm talking about. The dad slowed down to shuffle next to me. You okay? You need a break? Whoa, you look really white in the face. At that moment, I looked at him and it hit me that I was truly in a bad situation. We were at least a mile from their house, standing on a fully quaint, tree-lined residential street with no public bathrooms or even woods, and I was not okay. I stopped shuffling. The guy I'm seeing responded to his dad's shout and ran back and put his hand on my back. I was hunched over. All I remember is saying, don't fucking touch me right now, at a point of no return and unable to fake graciousness in front of the guy's father. Leave me, fast. Just run ahead. I'll meet you back at the house. Did they listen? You bet not.
Oh, no.
They insisted on staying and calling his mom to drive their car to pick us up. I couldn't even speak. I tried to walk towards a tree, but it was too late. I fully shit in the middle of the road.
Oh my god.
Not like a cute shit I could hide in my shorts. The kind of unforgivable and unspeakable shit where you have to flush the toilet a few times.
Oh my god.
A small or maybe large piece of my soul and dignity was left behind on that street a few weekends ago. I fled the weekend trip early after my shower, making up an excuse. I have told the guys since that I just can't face him in person yet. Someone please help me. If you were dating someone who liked you a lot, then shit yourself in front of you and your family and fled the scene with a fake excuse, is there anything she could do to make things okay enough to continue seeing one another? That's what I posed to a bunch of strangers. The resounding answer was surprisingly yes, I'd still date her as long as she handled it with a smile and sense of humor. So I'm taking that advice and crawling out of my shame to see this guy again. Anyone else who shit in front of their significant other's families should probably do the same.
Oh my god. That's literally like my biggest fear.
Is shitting in the middle of the road?
Is shitting in front of anyone. It's shitting your pants. Okay, that's the thing. In front of the dad, in front of your boyfriend.
In front of the boyfriend is one thing, but in front of their parents also
Yeah,
is...
and having the mom have to come pick you up, sit in your poopy little pants on that seat. I would walk home. I'd just be like, I'm not getting in your car.
I like how she said, not a cute little shit that you could hide.
I don't think I ever could just let my body do that. Like, it must have been bad if she couldn't hold it in until she made it to the
if
tree.
you can't control it, then it is pretty bad.
Yeah,
But she
if
did have
it's
spicy Indian food.
Yeah.
Which I've never had before, so I don't know what that does to a person's rectum. That's not a good word. I shouldn't use that.
I guess it's just also depends on if you're used to eating that kind of food. Like, if you're used to eating spicier food and
Oh,
like
well, yeah. That's not
then
an
I feel like
issue.
you're better. And if the parents and the boyfriend immediately were like, "Oh, okay, this is normal. Let's get this." Then for them it's probably normal food that they often eat.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
their body in their, their digestive system is used to that kind of
Yeah.
food. That's why they weren't keeled over shit in their pants.
Yeah. But I
Also,
mean,
why did the dad have to push her to go on the run? Is she a runner?
yeah, I was going to say that. Like, she wasn't feeling well. Like, she felt weird before the run. She didn't have to go on the run. I can understand the dad being like, yeah, come on with the run with us. And you don't want to say no. But
No, I might
she,
shit my pants.
yeah, she could have just said, dude, you want me to shit my pants in the road?
My thing is this is just me. I know when my stomach acts a certain way, I know it's gonna be messy. You know, like she should have seen the warning signs when she first woke up and was like, "I feel weird." She should have I would have immediately been in that bathroom trying to get that fucking hell out of me. You know,
Yeah, see,
spicy food too.
yeah.
It burns. She- Sitting in it too.
There's probably like in the middle of the road, there was probably like steam going off of it.
Like, that shit was radioactive. I hope the parents were good sports about it. Because that would be the real defining factor,
I mean, they went and got the car for. I mean, honestly, I'd be like, you're not getting in my car with that. I'd be like,
Yeah, that stinky ass is not
I'd be like,
getting in my
sorry,
car.
I know we're a mile away from the house, but we're gonna have to walk all the way
Yeah.
back because
Yeah.
you are not sitting on my seats.
No. At least they let her go there and take a shower and stuff. I just hope that they were, like, nice. Like, because, like, obviously, if I was in that situation, I'd be so embarrassed that I would almost not want to talk to them. But, like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would be really reassuring if they were like, it's okay, like, oh no, like nice about it.
Yeah.
Weren't like, oh my God, you just shit your pants? I can't believe you just did that. You're not getting in my car. Walk your ass home. Pack your bags and get out. Like I would just hope.
I mean, because yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. You can't control it sometimes. I've never experienced that. I've never been able to not control my bowels to that level, but it happens sometimes. It can happen to anyone. It really can.
Yeah, anyone can shit themselves. Do a little shard or something.
Yeah, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
It could be you next. You could be shitting in the road. You never know. It could
Stuck
be tomorrow.
in traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, you could be stuck in traffic and you're like, oh.
It hits you.
If I was like stuck in
Oh my
like
God.
traffic on the highway and somebody got out of their car and shit on the road and then just got back into their car.
That's my biggest fear. Yeah, that's my biggest fear. Like that. Okay, this TMI. I get so much anxiety, like that could happen to me, that like my body starts to feel like it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be like, God, we're in traffic. How bad would it be if I had to pee or had to go number 2 or had to throw up? Like how bad would that be?
Oh, so you get so nervous about it like possibly happening that
Yeah.
you end up getting
then
the
I'm
feeling.
like, dang. Oh no.
Oh yeah,
It's starting to happen. So yeah.
So we wanted to know how the parents acted in all this, if they were nice about it or not. But we might find out because there's an update, and it reads, "Hey everyone, checking in here with an update to this wonderful sub full of people who talked sense into me earlier this summer. So anyways, I holed up in my apartment for a week after and came here out of desperation for advice. I am really going to spare the details here, but my original post is available if anyone cares to dive in. So I mentioned the last time I posted that the guy and his wonderful mom had continued to reach out to me the week following the incident, after I'd made up an excuse and left the trip early. Taking all your advice, I garnered the guts to meet up with him. He came to my apartment and brought dinner and also a bag full of anti-diarrhea OTC meds, Tums, and honestly, most impressively, a new pair of my favorite running shorts in a color I like and the correct size. He gave me a huge hug and said that the whole shit myself thing and then suddenly not having me in his life immediately after made him realize how invested he is in the relationship. I cried, I think. I was also laughing, but there were certainly tears. We've been dating since. I really, really like him. Even saw his parents again last week when they visited him in the city we both live in. Turns out his dad did go to therapy.
Over her shitting.
Oh no, she says kidding after that.
Oh, I was like, oh my god.
Because I was like, what? I will forever be made fun of by him so long as we stay together, but I'm okay with that. If you ever shit yourself in front of your significant other and their father, please pay attention to how everyone else handles the situation. I was so caught up in my own embarrassment that I almost let a really great person and family go. Thank you again to everyone who helped me get out of my shame.
Honestly, that's a nice update.
That's the best possible ending.
Yeah, I'm glad that they can look at it with humor now. Because that's all you can do. Like, you can't, yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it sucks. It happened. But, like, you can't ever stoop that low again, you know? Like, what's the worst that could happen now?
Yeah, now I can do is laugh about it. And it's really nice that he got her anti-diarrhea meds, Tums, and a new pair of running shorts.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's husband material right there. Let's be honest.
I wonder if he brought spicy Indian food again for dinner.
I don't think they're gonna try that again.
They're gonna be like, yeah, girl, you don't get to eat that anymore. They get her regular non-spicy Indian food. This dude can't eat. Can you eat spice?
I don't really. Well, I just don't eat a lot of foods, so I don't really eat anything spicy. I think probably the spiciest thing is. Probably,
if you say orange chicken, I'm gonna beat you up. You're gonna say orange chicken, you son of a bitch.
I was gonna say the barbecue sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings, the honey barbecue sauce.
Isn't that like one of their sweet ones?
The sweet barbecue is lower on their spiciness scale, but the honey barbecue is higher. And
okay, higher where?
It's not a lot, obviously, but it's barbecue sauce. But it's more spicy than the sweet barbecue.
Is it like spicy, like spicier than regular barbecue?
Okay, well, let me put it this way. Okay, my grandma had those wings once, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is spicy."
Is your grandma old?
Is my grandma old?
I'm just surprised you eat anything that's flavored barbecue. I hate barbecue.
You hate barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I hate barbecue sauce.
Why?
I don't like the taste.
Why?
I can ask you why for a lot of things
That's
too,
true.
can't I?
Yeah, I don't like ketchup because I don't like the taste.
You like ketchup?
No.
Why?
Because I.
Isn't ketchup and barbecue sauce basically the same?
What? Ketchup is made of tomatoes.
What's barbecue sauce made of?
Not tomatoes. It's made of like peppers and.
What is barbecue sauce made of?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it's in a bottle scale, and the bottle gets skinnier at the top.
What the fuck? They're not taking into consideration the shape and volume of this fuck. You say medium's the middle, and then there's just like 50 other fucking things following it.
No, actually, I think orange chicken's probably spicier than the
Get the fuck
sauce.
away from me.
Do you think Opie should have stayed and laughed it off, or was leaving understandable?
I mean, it makes sense.
It's understandable, but given hindsight, she probably just should have stayed and laughed it off. But it is understandable to want to leave after that.
Like, I don't blame her for leaving. Like, it's not like she didn't do anything wrong. She did what she thought she needed to do in that situation. But now she knows if she ever shits her pants again in front of them, she can just stay and be like, haha, happened again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it from the guy's perspective. Like if I was dating some guy and he shit himself on the road, and then he went back to my house, took a shower, left, and then I never heard from him again, I would be like, damn, that
wow,
sucks.
What happened there? I can't imagine she just didn't talk to him.
No, she didn't. She said that they were trying to reach out to her, and she didn't respond to them.
Oh.
Right? Oh, yeah. She said, I told the guy that I just can't face him in person yet. So, I mean, at least she did tell them, like, I just can't face you. Okay, yeah. I thought she completely ghosted the guy, but she did tell him, hey, I just can't face you yet.
Yeah, like, I need a second to comprehend what just happened to me.
Yeah, so that's fine, actually, I think.
I feel like it almost would have been better if it was just a log. You know, like...
Why would that have been better?
Because at least you can, like, hide it better in your pants and then just tell the guys to run ahead and just whip it down quick and let it roll to the side.
Wait, so she shit. Oh, she shit in her pants.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of had the impression that she she shit in the road.
No,
Like
she couldn't.
stopped.
She said she couldn't make it. She was almost to the tree.
Okay,
and it
okay, yeah,
just
that's
happened.
right. Okay.
So that's why I'm like, if it was a log, at least that you just squeeze between your butt cheeks. Finish the run,
Finish the run? How can you finish the run after that? There's no way.
Get home, go to the bathroom right away, drop it in the toilet, call it a day.
What? You're saying you need to catch this log in your butt cheeks, hold it there while running, finish this multiple mile run, and then...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's if it was a log. Obviously, explosive diarrhea. You can't really do that. I was saying that if it was a log, it would have been easier to cover up and play off, Just like, oh no, I just had a stomach cramp right there. Let's keep going. I'm just going to run behind a little slower. You guys go ahead. But I'm just saying if she felt it in her gut and was like, no, it's not going to be explosive. It's just going to be a log. But I still need to get it out of me. She could have played it off more than explosive diarrhea.
She probably didn't know what it was going to be, though.
In situations like that, you know what it's going to be. You feel that rumble in your gut, you immediately are aware of what's happening. You don't even lie.
Okay,
So
guys.
funny for that.
Listen, we've been recording this for like 3 hours because we've been rambling about non-relevant stuff so much. So we don't remember what the last thing we were talking about was. I think it was that we were talking about
The log.
the log. I don't know if I cut that out or not, but I guess I have to put some of it in now so I can cut to this. But anyways, it had a good ending. They're together. That's great. The boyfriend seems like a good guy. Bought her a new pair of shorts, and the family was nice about it, and that's great. So that was some of the most embarrassing stories on Reddit. That ice cream one is...
The
more I think about it, the more funny it is, unfortunately.
Skit incoming.
There's got to be. Well, we're going to see after we're done with this if there's a skit of that, because if there's not, we're making one. That's going to be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to smash the like button down below. Leave any topics you'd like us to cover in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in next week's episode.